Age of Conan is a fantasy-themed MMORPG developed by Funcom for Microsoft Windows in 2008. The game uses the Dreamworld engine, and at the time, it was the very first AAA MMORPG to have a M for mature rating because of its over-the-top nudity, language, and violence. The game takes place in the Hyborian age, during the time when the popular Conan the Barbarian was finally by his own hand able to become king of the nation of Apollonia. For its time, this was a highly anticipated release, but it fell short in some areas, especially in the endgame. Only 2 years after its release, these shortcomings caused the game to take on a free-to-play model. So the question now becomes, is Age of Conan worth checking out now, and is it worth your hard drive space? Let's find out together. Welcome guys to another Times 2 review. I'm Extermicide and I'm here with my buddy Ark.
Hi guys, how you guys doing?
And we are going to be doing some Age of Conan tonight. Released in 2008 by Funcom. Did you play this game back when it was released?
Actually, I did a long time ago, and I got fairly decent into it. And I actually really did enjoy it. Really did.
Did you play the? I'm going to assume because I played the paid version. I played it right when it released.
I did too. Yeah,
okay.
I actually did. I think I got up like level 21, just where things were starting to get a little hard. Was getting into the PvP and into the dungeons and stuff like that and everything. And by then, I think I just got caught into other games and I just kind of faded out of it.
So Conan, what is best in life?
I'll tell you what, man, this is
You don't remember that? You don't remember that quote from the movie?
No, I don't actually. I don't, man. It's been
to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women.
That is good. Way too much, dude.
One of my favorite movies growing up. All right, so let's get into this. And right off the bat, I'm seeing something I don't like right off the bat, and that's you can only create one character on the free-to-play. Under free-to-play, it's called Conan Unchained now, but one character is ridiculous for a free-to-play game. It's ridiculous for any game. You're supposed to be trying to make your money from the costumes, the cosmetics, your mounts, and all that bullshit that's in the game, and you're going to limit yourself on your sales if you're only allowing these people to create one free account. Maybe your brother wants to play, maybe your sister, your dad, your mom, everyone in the family wants to have a freaking character. So I think that's a big freaking mistake right there. They're really pushing upgrade the premium right away, and that unlocks the rest of those accounts. So it's just my feelings. I think that's a mistake right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, because you would think that you would want to have a different character to have different setup. Because I know that you can have a sword and shield, you can have dual wield, you can have different ways to be able to fight. And I would think that having different diversities in character would be a great thing.
It's an MMO, And there's the man. So that's right. The character creation takes place on this ship. As you start off as a little slave here.
Now, wasn't there like a specific bonus, or wasn't there some sort of advantageous for a certain race, for a class in this? I don't remember. It's been such a long time.
There were certain tweaks for certain races and everything. I mean, if we really wanted to, we'd have to look it up and everything. But
sure.
Every race, they kind of show it when you mouse over them. Oh, they give the history of it. So we have Apollonias, Cimmerians, just like Conan himself, Stygians, and the Khitan. And the Khitan, it says you do not have the expansion, so you will not be able to enter the game with this race. All right. So the Khitans are the only race you cannot play because you have to get the expansion to freaking play that race.
I think that some of the shows here, that even the classes are even locked too, as well.
Yep. I mean, they really are pushing that premium, and I think that's really... if you're gonna go to free play, you're gonna go free to play. You either go all in or not at all. If you're gonna sit there and lock everything from everything in the game out and say, hey, if you want to play all these different things, you have to pay, then what's the sense of going free to play? The whole free to play model is to make money off the cosmetics. So I mean, we can play on the unlock Guardian, Dark Templar, Conqueror, or Bear Shaman. As a rogue, you can play the Barbarian, Assassin, or Ranger, but all the mage classes and 2 of the priest classes are locked behind a paywall. Not good. Clicking on the customization, very freaking generic. You have a choice of 4 different skin colors. You move a little pyramid inside a triangle to select how big or muscular or thin you are. You can select your body markings. There's not a whole lot to... I actually, if I had to remember back to this, I thought there was a lot more to this character customization, but I guess not.
It looks just very simple.
Face, nothing to tweak them. There's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different presets. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different eye colors and a bunch of hairstyles.
I figure I'm gonna go with the ginger head and pale, because that seems to be the way I am in real life, so it's a close mimic. And the face mark is a sunburnt, so that definitely fits my situation at the moment. So
all right, I'm done fooling with this. I'm ready to go in. How about you?
ready. Yep.
Oh yeah, I gotta make a name. There we go. BB Lapdog. Sounds like a stripper name. And like a lot of MMOs, you start off after a shipwreck and end up on an island. Growing up, I was a big Conan fan, so I was really, in fact, yeah, with my buddy too, that we both were really looking forward to this game. Ultimately, Funcom kind of let us down.
Yeah, Funcom, you gotta love them.
Conan is one of those licenses that just has not had a decent break in the video game world.
So then, you're not quite dead. This is Tortage, the pirate haven, jewel of the Barachian Isles. To the west is Atlantis, silent and dead under the open ocean. Eastwards lies Hyboria, where the world's doom rises. But your life is ending, even as I speak. The slave master from your vessel runs through the wilderness to reach the city. Slaves are forbidden within the walls, and if he tells the guards your ship carried a cargo of flesh, you will be left outside to rot in the jungle. If you enter Tortage City, find the old seer, Nadini. Tell her Calantes of Ibis sent you. Now go, find Sadur. Buy your life with his death.
Okay. So one of the big things that this game was marketed with on its release was voice acting. And I think it was one of the first MMOs that came out that had like a lot of freaking voice acting. Although they were marketing it as total voice acting. Back in the day, I don't know if you remember this, but you kind of leveled up to like level 20 something, and then all of a sudden that voice acting just kind of stopped.
Yeah, right. I remember that now.
I don't know if they ever fixed that, you know, and added it, because, you know, voice actors cost money. I get it, I understand, but don't market the game only as a freaking, you know, on its voice acting. So I'm guessing we can't team up quite yet.
A friendly free me, I beg you.
Who
I
did
was
this
a
to you?
captive of the tyrant of
How
Tor.
do I
The
free
scavenger
you?
has the key. He's a pet.
Please, hurry.
Gods go with you.
So are you constantly hitting 1, 2, and 3? Or
Yes, until you get more skills, then your skills start linking up and chaining together. God, I had a hard time looting this bag for some reason. Did you make a male character or a female?
Male.
So I made a female because I remember I kind of did it on purpose, because I know this girl that's tied up you get to have a sexual encounter with later, and I'm wondering if you're a female character, does that still imply, you know?
Right.
You have been ill-used, Cassandra. I protect you now.
And I will thank the gods each dawn that you found me here. Come then, to the city. Maybe once we're
I'll never forget your help.
I cut her off. She says, yeah, maybe once we get to the city, I can reward you some other way. Oh my god, the clicking to open up these bags is tedious.
I got a purple hat now.
I like how we're fighting all these guys with swords and stuff, but none of them are dropping a weapon. We're still using an ore.
Right.
All right, that's it. I gotta take a look at the controls here for a second and see if there's an actual loot key or something. Auto loot. Shift V.
Bugger. You know, for as dated as this game is, I really don't mind the graphics. I really don't.
So when you get close to loot that's on the ground, instead of trying to click on the bag, just press Shift V and she'll loot all the bags at once. Yeah, the graphics they're not horrible. We've definitely seen worse.
Yeah.
So double tapping A, D, or W will make you like dodge or jump in that direction.
Kind of weird, like there's like some sort of a faction or something, because you got NPCs that are actually attacking each other now. You just sit there and let them do their job.
I did the fatality and blood went all over my screen.
Oh wow. How'd you do that?
So I did my number 4 ability, and then it said from the icon to hit the one arrow next. Because you can actually decapitate in this game. Nothing like being in the battle of your life and having a cheerleader.
Can you dismember in this game? Like, I know you can take their head off, but can you take other body parts off?
That I don't remember. Alright, I found Sadur, the boss.
Who stands before Sadur? The gods smile upon Sadur this day. I thought I was the only one to survive, but it seems some of my property was spared. Come, I'll clamp irons around your throat.
Yeah, well, you look like you lost the fight with a bear, you fat piece of filth.
It was no bear, a creature, some kind of beast. But it's no matter. The gate here is locked, and that demon guards the key in the ruins nearby. Come, we must be.
It'll be a pleasure to beat the death out of you, you son of a whore.
Sadur is a practical man.
I see what you mean by
He will make you
directional
a
now when you do
promise.
those.
If you survive the demon's feast, he will take you to Tortage and sell you there. Brave words from one who has worn. You knelt many times, dragging the ore at my order.
I got a key and a better weapon
obeying
now.
whenever commanded, but back and are worth much to me. Slave Master Ulrich despises troublesome property. You will not sacrifice yourself to the demon? Time to die, slave. The great serpent shall judge your worthless soul in the
I just unlocked the gate and the thing.
Right behind you. A couple more hits on Sadur. Yay, better weapon.
Now, back in the day when this was out, was this like cutting edge fighting combat, combat back in the day?
It wasn't bad. I don't know if it was cutting edge. I mean, there was other things about it that were cutting edge. The voice acting, that was definitely cutting edge for the time. The amount of freaking blood and the nudity in the game, which was something that Funcom had to fight hard for. In a lot of countries, they did not want to show the nudity, and they wanted to give the game different ratings in different countries. And Funcom fought very hard to get the amount of nudity in the game that they did get. Which is actually funny by today's standards, because you can go on Steam and look at a game like League of Maidens, for example, that just came out during the pandemic, which has a lot more freaking nudity than this game. So it's amazing how much things have changed in just a few years.
That's kind of cool. Can your guy track by chance on the
Hold on one
bottom right?
second. Hold on one second. I was trying to get the gate open. I didn't realize there was little gears down there over the icons that said use.
At least this one seems to be unlocked. Just remember to say nothing about escaping your captors or killing any slavers. You crush picked heads with great skill, but stay out of trouble in this city if you want to see another sunrise. We'll meet again.
All right, let's take a look at this item shop real quick before we go too much further in. So I'm seeing XP boost, expertise point, critical rating boost for 4 hours, magical damage boost for 4 hours, Group King's Feast for 4 hours, I guess so you don't have to eat, PvP insurance, Path of the Vanquisher.
I bet that's so that. Oh yeah, it says so against losing your item, your quest items.
Self-resurrection potion. Special items. Loot crates. I am not a fan of loot crates. But these ones are looks like you're just buying the currency of the game. Am I seeing this correctly? There's a quick start bundle. If you go all the way down, you can buy a level 80 character. I'm not a firm believer of that too. You know, I understand why they would do it so you don't have to go through all that time. That's part of the freaking reason of playing the MMOs, leveling your character all the way up and say, hey, I have a level 80 this, I have a level 60 this, I have a level 54 this. Oh, and they just flat out freaking sell the mounts now. Back then, like that war mammoth is 1,000 gold or whatever the currency is in this game.
Yeah.
You had to earn that freaking thing back then. I had a mammoth mount. You had to do a whole little quest line to freaking get it and everything. See, I hate when they dumb things down and simplify it like this. You can just buy it now. It doesn't really mean anything. Everybody can have it.
Is this like one of the first, maybe, and not say it's a pioneer, but is this like one of the first premium type of pay-to-win med shop?
Going the free-to-play.
Yeah.
I don't think they're one of the first free-to-plays, but unfortunately, Age of Conan didn't stay with the pay model very long. People got to end game level, top level at the time, and literally in this game there was nothing to do once you hit the end. I know you can go in other MMOs, you hit that top level and then you can say there's nothing to do, but usually there is. You can go and do this and this, but in this game there literally was nothing else to freaking do once you hit top level.
Like close shop, boys, and let's go home.
Reroll character if you wanted to, and that was about it. But see, at the time, the dungeon bosses were kind of broken. The pathing wasn't good. They marketed this based on that voice acting, which stopped at level 20. In fact, the press, when they had the press come in for to preview the game before it actually released to the public, they only allowed the press to go so far in the game as far as where the voice acting was, and then past that, nope, no more freaking voice acting. But the press never saw that, so everything that they were seeing, they were reporting good things about the game. It's like, oh my god, the voice acting is amazing in this game. Every character you talk to talks back to you, and there's a story and everything. The combat feels good. It was getting a lot of hyped reviews, and then once you hit like 21, none of the characters were talking to you anymore. And once you started getting in the dungeons, the bosses were just like dumb as shit, like they had been sniffing glue all day.
Like they just have no interest in being your friend anymore.
It was a shame, because those of us who were diehard Conan fanatics, you know, we really wanted a good Conan game, and this really had all the potential in the world to be that. Now, in my mind, I would think that after all these years, they would fix all that. So,
It's you, by the way. I see you.
Oh, okay.
There.
That works.
There you go.
I will tell anyone who is gonna play this game, if you are playing on an ultra-wide monitor, this game supports the 34 by 40 by 1440 resolution. It's in there when you go into settings. However, the game, when you go into the actual settings, there's no scaling options for the text. So although the game will play perfectly well on a big ass freaking monitor, the text on everything is really, really, really tiny, and there's no way to fix it.
Bring your reading glasses.
There was no ultra wide monitors back then, but if you're gonna keep the game alive, update that shit with patches. Come on. You're trying to make money off this shit still. Shall we talk to this guy and get this quest? Can't talk to him. What the fuck? Are you talking to him?
Yeah, try to talk to him now.
Hey!
Yeah,
I
only
am
one
War
person can talk to him at a time.
Lalanga.
Take your turn.
I can't
Jeez.
let you in. You could use a smith's tools or a decent way. You come from many leagues. You're diving into what? People who talk deeply about luck be with you. You're like
All right, and then we go back to this freaking guy, ask him to get our bracelets off of us. He's gonna say, well, no, you gotta do me a freaking favor first and go get me some freaking rocks or something like that.
Aye? That's piss poor Stygian. There's a quarry just this river won't dam it. Go then.
All right, we go up the left path here. Well, I am amazed after all these years, I actually remember where to go.
You can sprint in this game. This is awesome.
Yay! Oh, we got combat. Cool.
Oh my god, he's going.
All right, there should be some rocks up here to collect. I think we each need like 3. Whoa!
He's kicked.
I don't remember him. I couldn't click on these damn things. Are you finding it hard to click on them?
No, I can pick him up.
I hit Shift V though, and it picked all 3 up at the same time.
Oh wow, that's efficient.
Aye? Oh. Faster than I'd feared too. Hand them over. Good. Now I can finish the job.
Now let's do it before some red hand soldiers come by and see what we're about.
This guy looks
Put
like
your
he's
wrists on
cracked
either
out.
side of that stone,
Yeah, he
and
does.
turn your face aside.
His eyes are like, "Ugh. Let's do it before the red hand get here."
I don't like to see chains on the under. Go then.
All right, now we should be able to go back to this garden. He should let us into the city.
Why, how rare! You look much like an escaped slave who blindly approached me a short while ago, begging to come into
The voice
contact.
acting, you gotta admit,
But
is
I am
really
sure you
good.
have never
Even
once
by
listened.
today's standards.
Very well.
Why are you doing
You
that?
may
I'm going to
pass,
play with the
But
puppy.
there is a condition, my unsubtle renegade. Inside the city, you'll find. Thank you.
So I won't
A
let you
word
do
of
it. Talk to
wisdom
him
if
while
you
I'm talking to him.
This luck
I've
be
already
with
handed
you.
mine in, so
You'll
you gotta go
likely
back
need
to
it.
talk to that guy,
You
right?
dick. You dick. You dick. Talk to what guy?
Alright. Bring the note. Yeah, I just got to talk to him. So, give Laranger letters to Tina.
Yep. She'll be in the inn.
Slave Master
I think
Ulrich
this is it.
sends this message. Those of you with debts too high to pay may be free of the burden by setting yourselves into...
Got a cutscene?
No, just a loading screen.
Oh, loading screen, okay.
There she is.
There's Tina. Oh, that dude made a bad decision, man. Look at this arm.
Always ready. I am. A note. Oh, well, thank you for bringing me this. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yeah, where's Nadini? That's the guy on the beach told us to go speak to Nadini.
Alright, so I got some saying that I'll see you then tonight, night, single player. Is this something that we want to click on?
The Red Hand have eyes
Yeah, I'll wait until the sun has set. Is what my guy's saying.
When the city is clad in dawn,
go ahead and click on that then?
Night single player, yes.
Okay.
What have you been doing outside the city walls? Use the bed, then go and speak.
All right, you ready to score this?
Yes, I am.
All right, I gotta say that going into this, I was really hoping for the best. I grew up as a huge Conan fan, and I was really, back in 2008, I was really happy for it. I pre-ordered it. I was very, I built a brand new computer system to freaking play the damn game, and I liked it for the most part until you got to the end game. And the end game, there really wasn't anything there, and it was the reason why most people ended up quitting the game. I was hoping coming back into it years later that some of the issues of the game would no longer exist, that the game would be in much better footing, and sometimes that's not what happens. So let's start scoring this. We'll start off with the graphics as always. And graphics, I'm going to say, actually, for the age of the game, for 2008, they've held up quite well. I've seen more modern day games that don't look as good as this one does. So I think the graphics have held up pretty decently. Have they aged? Yes. But they're still pretty damn good for what they are. So I'm going to give graphics overall a 7.
I think that the graphics held up decent. I think there might be a form of maybe some nostalgia of going through and seeing the old graphics and how they were. Yeah, they're not up to date, but I don't really have anything against it. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 7 because I think that's I think that's fair.
Okay, and that brings us to sound and music. Actually, I gotta say the music is still just as good as it was back then, and I thought back then that the music was very perfectly Conan-ish, for lack of a better term. It just had a sound to it, a theme to it that really made you feel like you were in a Conan story. So yeah, music sounded really freaking good. The sound effects were pretty accurate for what they were. I mean, they were not anything over the top, but combined music and sound, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9. This is probably where I'm going to be the most generous with this game.
I think for myself, I think that I'm just going to give it an 8. There was a little bit of, I felt that it wasn't irritating. I felt the fight scenes, the songs, everything was fine, but I also felt that it was a common loop too. Like it wasn't like not a whole lot of selection. So I keep hearing the same music, the same thing a little bit. Not that it bothered me, but I just hear the same thing. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
Fair enough. That brings us to story, and obviously, back in the day when this game came out, that was one of the big selling points of the game. Was it was just full of freaking story and quest givers who had full NPC dialogue with voice acting and everything, and they still do that quite well with this game after all this time. And the same the same story is still there, but I mean it was a good story. It was a good story back then. It's still a good story right now, and it leads you throughout the whole thing of actually, at one point actually entering the kingdom of Apollonia and meeting Conan himself while he's sitting on the throne. So they did a really, really good job with the story. I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8.
I agree with that. I think that I'm going to give it an 8 as well. I think that the storyline is rather in-depth, and they tie everything in with the night quests and stuff like that and everything. So that's what I'm going to go. I'm going to go with an 8.
Yeah, the night quests I actually found very interesting. So here you are, you can group with your friends during the day, but then when they're not online, you can still go in and mess with your character while your friends are offline and do those night quests and not screw up the leveling that you and your buddies were doing together. So then when they do come back online, you could just switch over to the day quest. I thought that was always a very nice touch to this game. All right, next is combat, and combat is still actually pretty damn good in this game. There's a mechanic that as you learn your skills, you got these little combos that kind of flash up on your screen, and if you hit the right keys, you can do like these super moves. However, by today's standards, they're a little dated. They're a little clunky. By today's standards in most games, if you're going to have a mechanic like that, you're usually able to put together your own combos, mix and match it the way you want it to be. And in this game, it's pretty set. It's like just hit these keys in order and you'll perform this. But the response time to performing those skills is a little off, a little slow. So if you do get into a fight where you're kind of outnumbered, there's no room for mistakes. If you start to lose that fight, it's hard to run away in this game. And yeah, you either stick with it or, and go down dying, or try to run away and hope that they're not faster than you are, and some of the mobs definitely are. Combat, I'm going to go with a 6.
Well, you're giving a lot more generous than I am. I'm going to give it a 5, actually. I don't like the fact that I'm going to get carpal tunnel hitting 1, 2, and 3 all the time. And in EverQuest 2, I had the same situation playing a class, and in it, you're smashing 1, 2, 3, 4, doing certain sequences, and after a while, my wrist, I could feel I was getting carpal tunnel from doing it. I can see myself doing the same thing if I'm going to be constantly hitting 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of macros either, but that's just too much work that I want to put into. So I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay, that brings us to gameplay. The gameplay was meh. It wasn't anything fantastic. It wasn't horrible. Have I seen worse in MMORPGs? Yes. Have I seen better? Most definitely. But the gameplay is pretty solid. There's issues though. There's issues with getting caught on invisible objects that just kind of hang you up, or the accidental aggro of an extra mob. And the thing is with the mobs in this game is maybe you'll have like 2 alligators that are linked together, and you accidentally aggro another alligator, but he's already linked to someone else too. So you're going to be pulling all these multiple mobs. There's certain mechanics and everything that kind of you would think over the years would have been fleshed out a little bit, especially considering that some of these you got to look at it like this. Someone coming into the game brand new, maybe solo, and has to do these quests by himself is going to have a very difficult time doing a lot of these mob fights and everything. And you may group that in with freaking combat, but I actually group it with gameplay also. And then there's the other little things like the map interface, and the map to me was very small. Even the mini map to me was just kind of lackluster. Overall gameplay, like I said, I've seen worse, I've seen better. I'm just going to cut it straight down the middle. I'm going to give it a 5.
I completely agree with that also. I'm going to give it a 5. I think that maybe at one point you could be able to solo and do these things when you had a heavily populated server where you had more people in there. groups, and they're taking, and you can maybe be able to siphon off one kill or by yourself and get lucky, while other groups are out there, you know, taking the majority of them. I think the ability to solo has passed now, but I think it was viable 10, 13 years ago. And I don't see them changing anything in that mechanic. And then also too, I think it got very monotonous, that it's the same thing. You just know that you're just gonna go here, kill that mob, come back, grab it, and go. And not to say that it's any different than it is nowadays, but I think that maybe because this was the original thought 13 years ago, you know, and now that time has evolved and people are getting more creative about doing things, I think it's okay for its time, but so I'm gonna give it a 5.
All right, next brings us to character creation. Wow, what do I say about this? I'm very disappointed in Funcom. I really am. Like I said, I started playing this game when it came out brand new, when it was pay to play. And there's several different classes that you can play, but when a game goes free to play, I think you either commit to being a free to play model or you stick with pay to play. Funcom has chosen this route of, you know what? We have these 9 different classes, but you can only play as these 2 or 3 unless you pay the premium, and we'll put a nice big button down here so you can go premium. I think that's kind of uncool, you know, or you might be a guy who wants to play a priest class, and there's 3 different types of healers in the game, but you can't play 2 of them. We're going to keep those locked. And you're really screwed if you want to be a mage, because all 3 of the magic casters, they're all locked. That's it. You are not going to be a magic caster in this game unless you buy premium. So I know that's not actually part of the create your character part of it, but in this aspect, it kind of is. As far as actually modifying and creating your character, it was very lackluster. It was just, by today's standards, it was not impressive at all. That part of the game definitely has shown its age. It's nothing more than 4 or 5 presets for everything. You know, your eye color, you're better off. It's just hitting the random button and having your character created randomly to maybe get something that looks a little bit different and looks, you know, halfway decent to freaking play. But overall, the character creation is just, by today's standards, in my opinion, is absolutely abysmal. And I'm going to have to go as low as a 3.
Well, I was actually thinking you're going to go 4 on that one. I'm actually going to give it a 4. And I think I remember that long ago when I was playing this, is that mages were pretty predominant back in the day. And I remember like getting killed by mages with fireballs from distances and stuff like that and everything. And I'm wondering, because it's such an OP class, that I think they wanted to monetize on that fact. And, you know, they might be still making that character very powerful, and knowing the fact that, you know, if you put money towards it, you're going to actually have a better chance of soloing and do, you know, I don't know. So for myself, I'm not really impressed with it. I'm actually giving it a benefit of the doubt, like more higher than what you said. I'm going to give it a 4, to be honest with you.
Brings us to population. There was 2 servers, a PvE server and a PvP server. Normally, I am the type of person that will always jump on the PvP server. I don't shy down from that. I'm all about the freaking combat and everything, and that's just my thing. However, before going into this game, I did read some things on the Reddit saying that the PvP server for this game is absolutely dead. So if you want to have any kind of freaking experience whatsoever, you need to go into the PvE server. Anyone who's still playing the game, that's what they're doing. They're kind of, they're like long-standing guilds that may have been around for a long time, that are just kind of big fans of Conan, who are still grinding the dungeons, you know, that are in the game. But just in our normal leveling up, we didn't run into too many people. There really wasn't much of a population. And the funny thing was that the people we did run into were considerably higher than the zone that we were in, which normally doesn't happen in a game unless the high-level character has just gotten extremely freaking bored, has nothing else to do, so he wants to go to the lower level and flex his muscles and whatever. So I honestly don't think there is much of a population in this game, and that really, again, saddens me. You know, back in the day, this game really had a lot of potential. And even by today's standards, you know, looking at the game, if Funcom wanted to turn around and fix some of these things up, I think the game could still be a great game that would be capable of making money, because there is a huge Conan fan base out there. But the state it is right now, I just really don't think there's much of a population. So I'm going to go with I don't want to go too low because we did actually see people. I'm going to say a 4.
All right, so I'm going to give it a 3 because I think that's about a max amount of people I saw in there, to be honest with you. And I made a comment earlier about that one level 25 guy in there, and I don't know how you feel, but for me, it just seems just kind of weird that you have a level 25 hanging around a newbie area, in my opinion, helping other people. Like you start to wonder whether it's just no one else to hang out with, you know. And I don't know, that's just my opinion. That's the vibe that I got from that.
I was half expecting him to all of a sudden send us a guild invite or something. Maybe he was recruiting in the lobby areas or something like that. But that wasn't the case.
I literally felt like he was just looking for friends. I'm not gonna lie, dude. That was my vibe from that. So I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay, that brings us to UI and menus. Again, something I'm not very impressed with. The UIs and the UI and the menu system itself were very plain. I'm going to count in with the menus. The world map was very too much going on to really make it easy to figure out what you were supposed to do. It's like they had everything in the world marked on the same freaking map, and the map was so condensed in size that it just felt like everything was just, you know, you're gonna have a map. If I hit the map key, make it a full screen freaking map. Or, you know, if you're gonna make it that small, make it resizable, and that wasn't the freaking case. Another issue I had, and I did state it in the game, is I have an ultra wide monitor. They did give me the resolutions in the UI to go ahead and set it to this resolution, and that's great. But they gave you no options to scale the text. So here I am with this huge ass freaking screen. The graphics look beautiful and everything, but my text boxes are so freaking tiny I can barely freaking read them. And this game itself, after a year playing, would make me go blind. UI and menus, and you know what, that kind of really irks me. It kind of pisses me off, to be completely freaking honest, because Funcom, you've gone as far as saying let's include this resolution, but not as far as to giving a slider to scale the size of the UI. How much half-assing can you possibly freaking do? So honestly, UI and menus, I'm gonna go with a 3.
I am going to give it a 3 also, just because it sucks. That's it.
You don't get any more blunt than that.
Pretty much.
Next, chat spam. Well, I gotta be honest. I'm gonna have to give the game its highest fucking score right here. There was absolutely 0 chat spam. In that case, I have to give it a perfect 10. There's no chat spam. But I believe that to be because there was no fucking population. So if there's no population, you're not going to get any chat spam. So I'll take the population part of it into consideration and knock a point off and drop them down to a 9. Honestly, do they deserve a 9? No, but it is, we're grading it on the chat spam, and there was none. So yeah, damn near perfect game, perfect score for that category.
All right, well, I have to agree. I mean, there's absolutely no spam, not even spelled characters in words. So I don't know. I mean, give it a 9, I guess. I don't know. It was dead. There's nothing going on.
Got to judge it for what it is, you know. All right, next that brings us to Cash Shop and Pay to Win. As far as Pay to Win goes, I have a feeling. I don't have a confirmation, but I have a feeling that it exists in this game. There was a lot of items in the cash shop that were kind of hidden in loot crates that you really didn't get a good description as to what exactly are you getting when you purchase these items. So that was a little confusing and something that didn't please me a whole lot. But then again, going back to what I said with the whole character creation thing, having half your characters and half your classes locked behind a paywall and pushing that freaking buy the premium membership just really irked the hell out of me. And honestly, with as much as they are locking behind that paywall, if you are a serious fan of Conan and you just couldn't see yourself not playing this game, I mean, it's the only thing that exists and you got to freaking play this game, then, you know, to have even a remote chance of enjoying it at all, you're going to have to sign up for the premium. There's no, you know, if, ands, or, you know, whatever about it. You're going to have to sign up for that premium to do all the unlocks. The other thing that kind of irked me too was the mounts. Now, back when I played back in the day and everything, all the mounts in the game were earned. You did little certain quests to get them. You had to work your ass off doing something to get any particular mounts. And all the mounts seem to be in the cash shop now, purchasable for not in-game gold, but their special currency that you, again, have to go into the cash shop and buy some of that currency just so you can buy these mounts. And I'm sure you could probably still get them the old way also, but even things too were in that cash shop of, like, you know, leveling yourself all the way to level 80, you know, immediately, which I just, to each their own, I guess. But, you know, it kind of does a big disservice as to why you're playing an MMO in the first place if you're just going to level it to max level. So like I said, to each their own. Anyway, cash shop, pay to win. Like I said, I did not see any definite confirmation that there's actual pay to win in this game, but I have a sneaky suspicion that there is. So I am going to go with a 3.
All right, well, you're awful generous. To me, I see pay to win from beginning to end, from character creation to your UI menus, looking and your tabs. It's premium membership, premium, and then obviously it's pay for convenience. It's you know, you're paying for bundles, you're paying for money, you're paying for gear, mounts. I mean, but I also think it's what they have to do to survive to be viable. And so I'm gonna give them a little bit of credit, but still.
Do you actually believe that? Do you? Yeah. I mean, honestly, because there's games that do it right and they do it by cosmetics only,
right?
And make an actual living. And I have no problem you selling cosmetics or cosmetic skins for your mounts and everything. But it's when you get to that point of saying, even the experience, you know, boost. I can live with that. Those kind of things I can understand. But when you get to the other side of it, you know, of mystery loot crates, you know, that to me, that's almost like legalized freaking gambling right there. It shouldn't be allowed in any freaking game. Yeah, let's get our children hooked on freaking legalized freaking gambling right now, you know, and then they'll be living in Vegas later on. I don't know. I just really, I can't sit there and say, well, I understand. Because really, you know, either you commit to being a free-to-play model or you stay a pay-to-play model. And if they're going to try to freaking get that money and just push that freaking premium, they might as well just stay the pay-to-play freaking model. They probably would have done better off. Maybe just lower your fucking price a little, but stay pay-to-play. Because I think they were charging $14.99 a month, you know, like what WoW was charging at the time. They could have probably gone down to $9.99 a month and still be freaking doing a pay-to-play model now with probably a much better population than they have right now.
So first off, you have to pay money to open up a priest or a mage class, which are your two most primary classes that you really would want to need in a group and everything. So there's one thing, but then two is that, do you feel it's actually like an actual cult extortion? You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to play this, in order for you to play it fully, you're gonna have to pay, because you know that people follow the Conan series, and I feel that they might be like, it's like a niche extortion, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it, like a ransom or something.
No, but I fully understand what you're saying. So what was your score?
2. Yep.
All right, so adding my scores together, I came up with a score of 57.
I came up with 54.
Added together, that gives us a score of 111. And dividing that score by 2, since there's 2 of us playing, gives us a final total of 55.5. Which gives us a letter grade of... With a grade of D, this game is considered below average. It is not completely horrible, and it is playable, but it falls very short in many areas, especially by today's standards. If you can overlook some of its flaws, then you might find that this game is tolerable. There are definitely better games out there to try, but if you have already tried a majority of them, then who knows, maybe this game will be that hidden treasure that will keep you entertained for a while. Anyways, that's it for our ×2 review for this game. We hope you enjoyed it and found it informative, and we will catch you again on the next ×2 review.